Folks, we are back. We are now on the coronavirus hiatus, and it's time to pick up the Football Manager stream again because we've got the time finally. So it has been quite a bit since I've played this game, since I've played this save. Last time I played this game was this save when we were streaming and doing all that stuff. So I want to spend this episode doing a little bit of a catch-up. We're in the middle. Actually, we just got into the transfer window, so we're at the very beginning of January. Typically, I've been doing these videos at the ends of the transfer windows, but I just wanted to get a video out before I start streaming this again, just so we can all kind of get a refresher on where we are, what this thing is about, kind of go through the squad a little bit, just give ourselves a little bit of a refresher. So if you're unfamiliar, what we did with the save is we put Atlanta United in the championship, not in the Premier League, in the championship, the league below the Premier League. And we basically use European, the rules of those leagues. So we're not binded by or we're not held back by the allocation money and all that jazz. We're just playing this as if we were a team in England, but with Atlanta United squad, or that's how we started out. We now have a much different squad because we are in our third season. I believe it's our third season. The first year we did not get promoted from the championship, which I anticipated happening. I was not very aggressive in the opening transfer window because I wanted to play with a lot of the Atlanta United players, and turns out MLS quality players don't really cut it in the championship. At least the starting players do. The starting players are good. It's really the depth. That's really what got me. And when you're playing this game, you don't really want to sign players, or I don't like to sign players just to be a depth piece. I want to sign players who come in to be a starter, and then the former starter becomes the depth. And I wanted to play with a lot of the current Atlanta United players in that first season, so kind of sacrificed that year. But anyway, we're back up into the Premier League. This is our first year in the Premier League. We won the championship last year, and now we're halfway through our first season in the Premier League. And as you can see, we're 12th, so doing pretty well. -7 goal differential. That's not bad considering we're a newly promoted team. Doing pretty solid. Cannot complain with this at all. In fact, I think we're on a pretty good run of form right now. I want to say, if we look at our schedule, yeah, sure. We did just lose that FA Cup game, but I'm fine going out of the Cups. We haven't been losing a ton of games recently, which is good. But yeah, so this is where we're at. Let's take a look at the squad. Again, I'm going to go through this. Let's look at it from the tactical perspective. I want to go through some of these players just for anybody who's not familiar, but I really do suggest you guys go back and look at some of the old videos to catch up on how we got to where we are today. But this is kind of the squad we mainly roll with. Of course, we will use a lot of these players that are on the bench oftentimes, maybe a Barco in there. We've been using Joseph Martinez a lot in this season as this inside forward on the left-hand side. Reason being, our two best players are probably Joseph Martinez and this guy, Rafael Leao. In fact, Leao has been amazing in the Premier League this season. As you can see, he's got great physical attributes. I forget he plays for not Inter Milan, AC Milan. That's who we got him from, and we got him on a super cheap deal. So I think we're eventually going to sell this guy for a lot of money, especially if he continues to bang in the goals. I mean, look at that goal scoring record in the Premier League: 12 goals in 17 appearances. And I think I was not starting him really when we first started this season. I was starting Joseph Martinez up top with kind of your natural Barco and whatever other inside forward or winger on the other side, but I've just found this to be the best combination. And I think Joseph's actually done pretty well this season as well. Maybe not. 6 goals in 20 appearances. It's been a little rough for him. I mean, his attributes are just not as good as Rafael Leao's. He's still very good, and he's still one of our best players, but it's really hard to do a two-striker system. Maybe it's something we'll look into, but right now we need to get results, and we need to go with a tried and tested tactical setup, and I think this has been really good for us. We all know Ezequiel Barco. He's been, a solid player for us. Hasn't really grown as much as I thought he would. I thought his potential would have been a little bit more, but you can still see he has a full star of ability if you look at his potential versus current ability for him to still grow. So it's pretty solid. This is one of our new signings here, John Lukumi from Colombia. He's really been progressing this season. Got off to a rough start, but it's actually been pretty decent. We've had some trouble at the back. Miles Robinson has been injured all year, although he's not really a starter for us. Although it's funny, his attributes are kind of going up, even though he has not made an appearance all season. He literally got hurt, I think, in our last preseason game, kind of like in real life, and has not made an appearance yet in the Premier League. This guy, Keeper, has been pretty good for us as well. We got him on a relatively cheap deal last season, at the beginning of last season. And it's kind of fallen into place for us with him because I kind of signed him to be a backup his first year and then progress into a starting role. And that's kind of what happened. We could probably still upgrade him. We could probably still upgrade at center back. It's probably the one position where we could strengthen. But right now, if we look at the transfer, or if we look at our finances, we've got a transfer budget of £18.4 million, but we're already actually tipping over our payroll. So we could probably sign somebody for roughly 10. We could probably make like a £10 million signing, paying him decent wages, but I don't know if that's money we really need to be spending right now. We're doing all right. And again, for that kind of money, the only kind of player you're going to bring in is kind of a depth piece, and those are not kind of the players I typically like to bring in. Maybe we sell somebody and opens up some finances for us. There are some candidates, like this guy Dragomir, former Arsenal player, was really, really good for us in the championship. As you can see, he made a ton of appearances last year, but just not really Premier League quality. And if a team comes in for him, I wonder how much he's valued at. 50, yeah, I mean, if a team comes in and bids this much for him, 15.5 million, I'll sell him for that. And maybe then we can bolster some positions. Left back's kind of been an interesting area for us because we've got Bello. He's very good. Definitely our starter. And, oh, man, he is so good. And honestly, Bello has not really dealt with injuries much, which I thought he would. Look how many games he's played for us in this save. 34 the first year, 38 last year, and now he's played almost every game. In fact, every game I think he started. But we don't have great depth for him. Like, basically, the depth for Bello is Lukumi. And if we use Lukumi then we don't really have a center back to use. So we're kind of stretched a little bit thin. As you can see from this list, this is our squad, and we essentially have our first 11, the 7 guys on the bench, and then 3 other players. So we're using a pretty thin squad. I tend to like to have a thin squad, though, because you don't have players getting unhappy. You're basically able to use everybody, and everybody's value kind of grows together. But we'll see how it goes. We might add somebody at the last second if we need, or we could even get somebody on loan. We still have Tyler Adams and Keaton Parks on loan. We will lose these guys after this year. For some reason, whenever I've signed players on loan, because of the way I had to configure the game, those players don't return to their parent clubs, but I did find out a way where I can kind of force it to happen. So I did move, I forget who it was that I had previously loaned. You could check the prior videos to see who it is, but I have sent some of those guys back. But keeping Tyler Adams for the rest of the year because we really need him, and we're kind of planning on having him, and same with Keaton Parks, who we did get on loan this year. Keaton's been all right. I would be open to getting him in permanently, but for his value, I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. Like, his value is 12.25 million, and for that price, I probably would sign him permanently. But I think Benfica is going to want a lot more than that for him, and not sure if it's something that I want to do now. But we'll wait till the end of the season before we decide on him. This is basically how we've been playing. Jack Butland has been great for us in goal, real solid, and I think we'll have him for a long time. I have no reason to get rid of him. One thing I wanted to note before we get going for our next game is to just look at this overall plot of our finances over the years. So as you can see, we had a huge budget to start out the save with, and we just kind of depleted that sucker, especially when I realized that we needed to really upgrade the squad after the first year, or even, I guess this was in the first half of the first year. I realized we needed to make some moves, so we really just started depleting and buying. And it wasn't until this offseason, basically half a year before where we are now in the save, where I was able to actually really kind of get some finances back in and rebuild the budget a little bit. If we look at the financial fair play, we are now in the clear, which we were not coming into this season. We were like making way too big of losses, much more than the allowed. I think we were like 30 million. We had lost like 30 million overall in the period. So now we're well above that. Nothing to worry about there. The reason we are at that point is because we sold, if we go over to here, we sold Pity Martinez for 45 million. So he's the one guy that I really kind of didn't want to lose ideally, but it was just an offer that was too good to turn down for a 28-year-old player. it was just one of those things where got to get rid of someone like that. But it's interesting. I was actually just looking, and has not been doing too well for Inter. 11 appearances and has yet to make a goal or an assist. So kind of a familiar trend for Pitti there in his first year with a new team, but hopefully he gets going. And anyway, let's speed up and just get into our next game. Okay, so it's been so long since I've played this save that it turns out I actually did have an offer out for a player, which has been accepted for this guy, Junca. David Junca, I think is how you would pronounce this. And it's exactly kind of what I was saying earlier. He will essentially be a backup left back for us. Not a great player, but we're not spending a lot of money for him. Just like 2.1 million. His salary is only 13 and change a week. Let's accept that and continue on. And one more thing just came through. Looks like we've just actually lost our backup goalkeeper, Bryce Samba. That's a shame because he was a pretty decent backup keeper, really solid. But yeah, he's probably going to play for, he's going to start for Lorient. So unfortunate to lose him, but that won't go through until the end of the season, so no big deal. We'll just find another backup goalkeeper at a later date. Okay, yeah, so I've forgotten all about this. But hey, look, we have a new signing. I forgot we had all these offers out, but I do recall that we had put out an offer for Amadou Diawara here. He will be kind of a guy we work into our rotation with the loss of Tyler Adams and potentially Keaton Parks after this season since they're on loan. Just a solid ball-winning central midfielder here. He can also be a deep-lying playmaker as well. Just a very solid all-around player. Pretty young. I think he can still improve a bit. He'll be a nice squad player for us, I think. Amadou Diawara. Okay, we got a little bit of an issue here. As you can see, this is the team registration. And when I registered Diawara, we go over our limit of players that we have to have trained in England. So, what I'm going to do is, since he is the heir apparent to Tyler Adams, and since he's a better player than Tyler Adams is now, I'm going to actually send Tyler Adams home. I'm going to send him back to RB Leipzig. No reason for him to stick around with us since he's on loan, and he would be the guy I deregister anyway. So, tough. Maybe we'll try to get Tyler Adams back. He has been quite valuable for us. He's been a pretty consistent player, but right now, just surplus to requirements and getting pushed out of the squad. So we're going to send him back to RB Leipzig to make room for Diawara. All right, here's the lineup we're going to go with. Diawara is getting thrown right into the starting 11, which I'm not thrilled about, but Jonathan Gonzales, his condition and his general shape is pretty good, 91, 93, but he has not been in training. He's got a small back injury, and it says he's supposed to return to full training in 3 days. I would like to start him. If it was like a cup final or something, I definitely would. But just because it looks like he's in good enough shape to play. But just don't want to risk him re-injuring that thing. So we'll keep him out for now. I say I don't want Diawara in there just because I don't like putting a player in the starting 11 when you just signed him, when they just came to the club a few days ago. As you can see, like if Jonathan Gonzales was in there, he has a little bit. I guess he does not have a relationship with Parks, but regardless, just not thrilled about this situation. But whatever, it is what it is. Our bench is pretty much a lot of wingers and fullbacks. But yeah, we'll see what we do. I wanted to mention this guy Shaparenko. He was another one of our signings this year coming into the Premier League. Very, very good. He was like our marquee signing. I had never heard of him before. His potential ability, I think, has gone down a little bit since we signed him, which is not great, but still has great attributes. Loves big matches. Good rating for this level, consistent performer. So, how have his stats been? Not great. Wow. Only 1 goal and 4 assists in 18 appearances. So, not feeling great about this, but anyway, maybe he'll get a goal today. This is the lineup we're going to go with against Southampton. All right, we've kicked off, and we have a highlight. All right, we're breaking from Southampton's corner now. Diawara. Can he make his impact? All right, corner for us. Barco swings it in. Keep right. Oh, just heads over. Shaparenko, can you do something? Do something, Shaparenko. Leao. Oh, off the post or off the crossbar. All right, not liking the look of this highlight so far. Okay, Joseph Martinez recovers there. Nope, we just punted it long and gave it back away. Southampton retake possession. Oh, no. Whew. Got away with that one there. Oh, there, Bello to Leao. Leao is definitely our. I think he's going to score in this game. I'm feeling it. Barco. Lots of highlights so far in this one. A lot of highlights, no goals in the first half there. I may have put my foot in my mouth there with the layout comment. His rating is not great. We just went 15 minutes without any highlights or anything happening. Signals to me that there is a change that needs to be made. I just don't know what that change is right now. What I think I'm going to do is put Joseph Martinez up top because he's got a better rating. I feel like once Leao, when he's got that 6.4 rating, I feel like you don't see those come back around too often. Jaden Braff has been an amazing substitute for us so far this season. He's got a ton of speed. Let's hope he can kind of use that speed again. Run at the defense with fresh legs. Eventually, I need to get into a point where I'm starting Jaden Braff. He's a wonder kid, which means he's got a ton of potential, obviously, and he's not showing that potential so far today. Finally, we get our first highlight of the second half here, and it doesn't look like a good one. Oh, maybe he can do something for us here. Let's go. Let's go. Look at that speed, just running. Okay, let's see. We got 10 minutes left. We've only made one sub. I just don't know what else we can do. Like, our best players are on the pitch. Let's put Carvalho on for Shaparenko, who's been disappointing yet again. And is there anything else? Maybe should we put Tito on for Barco? We also have this guy, Xavier Amici, who our technical staff or one of my scouts just signed this guy. I actually had a setting not ticked correctly, so I didn't have any say in this, but he actually looks like a decent player. Let's put him on for Barco and see if we can just use our speed here. Ton of pace on the field for us right now. Hopefully Diawara doesn't get sent off. Braff gets him behind. Oh, does he get? Yeah, so he gets just enough. Gets just enough on that for Joseph to put it across the line. Wow. That was kind of a, to borrow a FIFA term, a sweaty goal. Oh, and look at him just gliding across the field there, not even moving his legs. Wow, that was a ridiculous goal there. In a bad way. Let's see it. Oh, was he onside? When they put those lines up, they scare me. He was onside. We're just now crossing our fingers, hoping we can get through to the end. Looks like we are. Okay, I think we've made it. All right. 1-0. Wasn't pretty at all, but got the job done. Which is all we need to be doing in this season. Shoot, I should have given my own team talk there. Given them better reaction. But good result there. Always take a 1-0. Always take a 3 points coming up. Look at that. We're up in the 10th. We're almost in the top half of the table. I guess technically this is the top half of the table. So we will take that. We have another game coming up soon. I'm not going to go any further in this video. We will be streaming. I will be streaming this save, continuing on. And I probably won't do another video at the end of this transfer window unless something drastic happens that I feel like you guys need to get caught up on. So if that's not the case, we will go through the rest of the season. I will make another video for the YouTube channel once the season is done to kind of recap everything. But until then, you guys can catch us on Twitch. So make sure you're following us on there and follow us on Dirty South Soccer's YouTube channel as well, so you can see all the update videos. And until then, we'll see you guys next time while we get through this coronavirus hiatus together. See y'all.